Welcome, and thank you so much for stopping by. I'm truly honored to have your time at this moment. And so, we're going to take a few minutes to talk about unlocking your brand growth with relationship management expert Lord Danavan Hylton. And before we get started, I want to shout out sales and marketing consulting firm Hylton Elite Marketing Agency for powering this presentation. And if you're a business that needs to promote your brand in corporate areas, you definitely want to shout out and connect with my friends down at Hylton Elite Marketing Agency. And so we're going to take a few moments here to talk about how I, as your advisor, can help give your business a competitive advantage and making sure that you are in the know and connected to opportunities for growth, that you are getting strong relationships built for partnerships. And I am there to help you successfully navigate through the market, various trends, and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, Danavan Hylton again. Let's get to know me a little bit. Fun fact, I'm a registered Lord of Glencoe in Scotland, courtesy of Highland titles. And that's simply because I am building an international brand. I have the opportunity to serve as the CEO of Hylton Elite Marketing Agency. And again, we're promoting corporate brands in urban areas of Tennessee. We're quickly growing throughout the southeast region of the U.S. And I see myself and my firm reaching out to on a national scale, where we are promoting corporate brands in urban areas, specifically for workforce marketing, real estate community engagement, or business and nonprofit development. And so as I was building this consulting firm and I'm expanding my territory, I realized that I want to take that same practice and provide that same practice in African diaspora countries, connecting corporate brands to urban areas to increase their customer base or their community presence, and vice versa. So taking that practice of connecting corporations to the US in urban areas, bringing that same practice overseas, and I get a chance to build an international brand by becoming a Lord. And in the culture of the UK, United Kingdom, a Lord is someone that happens to be an owner of land and is a master of their profession. And so through courtesy of Highland Titles, a nonprofit organization, I believe they're a nonprofit organization where I was able to purchase a plot of land to own land in Scotland. And then I am again, master of my profession, business development. And so as I build my brand in overseas, that's a great way to break the ice, because it's a story as far as, my brand and how I ended up wanting to work overseas. I have some ties, family ties, back toward the UK, and all that's in my discovery and explainer videos if you follow me on YouTube. But ultimately, I'm building this brand and promoting this consulting firm to make sure that we are promoting corporate brands in urban areas. And so that's been a fun story, a fun growth process. And for those that may not know, I ran for city council at one point in a particular city, which allowed me to build working relationships in the greater Nashville area. And those relationships pretty much transformed in me serving as a liaison between a lot of government agencies and elected officials and community residents overall. And I found myself getting paid by businesses to connect them with their local officials for nothing other than them wanting to build a personal relationship. And that's why I tip my hat off to elected officials. I try to stay out of it. But, when you are representing a district, you are building relationships with business, community leaders and other government or non-government form leaders as well. And so that's the experience and insight that I have, to where putting all that together and people just consistently reaching out to me, asking for advice, asking for direction, asking for connections, asking for opportunities. I start this advisory firm where I'm focusing on and providing solutions in the areas of marketing and community service. And we'll talk about what those things are as far as the details of marketing, what I do, and the details of customer service. But everything that you see that has got me to the point of serving as an advisor, where you're even interested, was because I had to build a brand. I had to build a brand while simultaneously building a business. And those two things are not easy, especially coming from urban areas or underserved communities, which I have a passion and a heart for. And so I'm eager to get in front of you today to see how my insight, access, and resources can really help you generate more leads, increase your brand awareness, and increase your cross-promotion opportunities. So let's jump right into it. So some of the basic expectations when it comes to my advising services, and that's pretty much just access to the business world. I mean, at the end of the day, and business consists of government and community relations. So you just have access. My access is your access. And if you know my access, you can now strategically make the moves that you need to make to quickly grow your business. Keep in mind, a lot of ways I've done the legwork for you in particular territories, which we'll talk about shortly. I've done that legwork for you. And so all you have to do is just follow these simple steps. I'm here to help you through the process, and you're on your way. And that's the tangible results that I want to bring to you. What are you looking to accomplish? And at the end of the day, it's usually to increase your customers or to maintain your customers at the minimum. That's, business development to some degree and customer service. And so I want to bring you tangible results of your customer base building as well as you building your team. And that is a long-term process, but hopefully we can build that long-term relationship. So just to give you some idea in the background of just some of my work, here's some real life examples. I have thousands of pictures and videos. We'll go through this quickly, just some of my experience. Top left there, I want to shout out USA Kickboxing, the national team for the United States of America to represent kickboxing across the globe and within the country. In the middle of that picture there is the president of USA Kickboxing, and as well as to the right, one of his administration team members, Coach Kevin Walker, who's a coach and trainer. And I was able to get plugged in to USA Kickboxing through Coach Kevin Walker, who was the trainer to the first American kickboxer to medal in the World Games, which is as of now the highest form of competition that a kickboxer can go globally. And that's Omari the Body Snatcher Boyd. And Omari the Body Snatcher Boyd is also a member of USA Kickboxing. I've had the opportunity to work in the combat industry to include kickboxing, MMA, tatami as well. And that's another, I will leave it there. Boxing as well. Follow my work on YouTube. You'll see a lot of the stories. Had opportunity to promote a Mayweather related event that came to Nashville. It all came from these gentlemen here in this picture. To the left, we have Sky Ferrari and Robert Savage. Sky Ferrari has a great story, has a background, is a returning citizen when he was younger, is now a skilled and certified electrician, has his own business, does contracting work, is a real estate investor, has a bunch of properties, and does a lot of corporate social responsibility work. And his story is amazing. And we have all the YouTube channels. He has a great story. Robert Savage, former NFL player, real estate mogul, and someone that's really invested in the community. Coach Walker wanted to grow the USA brand of coming into Tennessee, grow the brand of USA Kickboxing and the United States of America, while growing his brand of combat training and advising as well. So he reached out to me. We've been working together for about 5 years. And during that process, I reached out to Robert Savage, who introduced me to Sky Ferrari and a few other team members, that we built this coalition of just driving the brand of USA Kickboxing in the state of Tennessee, to which we were able to have two international competitions between USA and Spain and USA and Canada, hosted 3 national kickboxing championships in Tennessee for fighters to come from all over the U.S. to make the USA team, and working closely with government officials for funding, getting legislation passed, working with corporations, it's ticket sales, branding, all kind of everything of growing and developing a business. Now the USA Kickboxing is a growing brand in Tennessee. They fought at casinos, all kind of places. Now kickboxing, other brands are coming to Tennessee to fight because legislation was legally passed to host those type of events as well. And in 2028, the Olympics are coming to Los Angeles, California. And the fun fact is, right now, if you check your sources, go online, kickboxing is a sport being heavily considered to becoming becoming an Olympic sport. So how cool is it to work with USA Kickboxing for the last 4 or 5 years, get them to a point where they're hot, they're growing now. Not saying it was all us, but in conjunction, helping myself and the team that we were able to put together, but get them to the point where they're hot. We built this relationship. We were offered to go to the World Games that were hosted on U.S. soil in 2022, first time in years. And now come to find out, U.S. kickboxing has an opportunity to become an Olympic sport. And we're working directly with the kickboxing team, and the next Olympics will be in Los Angeles. And we've been raising funds for this organization, but imagine when they become an Olympic sport, how much more corporate dollars will be coming in. And I've been fortunate to help position my brand to be able to serve as a trusted advisor and consulting partner for USA Kickboxing. And I want to shout out every individual in that picture for being a part of my story and helping me grow as I help them grow. These are all just stories within stories. Representing client Express Employment Professional, staffing company, providing jobs to the community. I'm out representing the brand and promoting the jobs, representing them at middle schools, high schools. I'm at maximum security prisons, serving as guest speakers, doing all these things to talk about how to get a job, how to keep a job, how to inspire, how to persevere, connecting this company to business, government, and community leaders, both at their site, at these prospect sites and partner sites, as well as bringing them to the office to meet the owner, to meet the staff. And I built a system of doing that for plenty of businesses. To the right there, at the far right, I'm at Austin Peay State University, had an opportunity to join, reached out and joined as a board member because of my access, insight, and resources to a nonprofit organization that wanted to promote more Black and brown people going outside in the state of Tennessee. Was able to, and my job is to help with partnerships and generate revenue and opportunity. So was very fortunate, along with board members, to be able to reach out to Austin Peay State University. Shout out to Dr. Timothy Lashowick. I always mispronounce his name, but that's my friend there, Timothy Lashowick, who is the chair for Health and Human Performance, the School of Health and Human Performance at Austin Peay State University, and connecting those brands together to promote more Black and brown people going outside by Austin Peay University having professors volunteer as well as students being involved was a great experience. Also, a picture there of me on the radio. I'm on plenty of media outlets, either television, radio, podcast, sharing, inspiring, providing insight, helping to bridge gaps. Those are PR things that I had to learn what to say, what not to say, just representing other brands in front of media outlets as well. Sensitive conversations, doing it in a way where you don't ruffle feathers, or doing it in a way where feathers were ruffled, but you're not adding to the challenge, but you're the person that has to absorb the challenge and still be able to propel growth and sustainability in so many ways. Beautiful story. Another picture I have here is I'm doing a private investors meeting. A private company reached out to me, wanted to host this big activity in a downtown area, and they wanted me to assist with securing funds, ticket sales, government relations, partnerships, posses, oversee and be a part of the whole development and recruiting of volunteers, just being a part of that process. And that was so exciting. Had a chance to be a part of my first investors meeting, where not only did we have to get the brand and the information together for the activity, but put together a packaged presentation well enough to get investors to come to a high-end private meeting at a high-end restaurant. Pitch, as you can see, I'm pitching, and we were able to raise over $15,000 that night. And that was about a 2-3 month process. One of many investors meetings I'm now pitching at and representing, but I learned so much. And I'm so thankful for, again, individuals like yourself and others to give me a shot. I take it and run with it. Been doing it for years. Another picture I have here, I'm at the Tennessee State Capitol with a state House of Representatives, was in the middle there. A nonprofit organization reached out to me and said, hey, look, we want to take advantage of, it's called instruction-based learning. Instruction-based learning is something close to that nature. Religious-based instruction. I think it's called religious-based instruction is what it's called. But we'll leave the links there, or do your research. In 1950s, the Congress passed a law stating that you can teach faith-based education, as far as education or academic education, I believe. You can teach faith-based education to public school students during public school hours, as long as the education is off campus, is receiving private dollars, and the parent or guardian approves of the child going off campus for 1 hour a week to discuss faith-based education. And, so that could be any faith-based, and I've pretty much helped this nonprofit get the word out, get the temperature out, not to the public, but when you're starting something, you have to first get consensus and know who to connect with, because one thing is, if you're especially faith-based, if you're pushing your faith, and this is a federal law that was passed in 1950, and you're pushing it, you may have backlash from people that may not be believers of your faith. And so there was a lot of things that you kind of have to do beforehand, during, to be able to sustain and create, because I represent a lot of clients, I represent a lot of people. And so when I'm in certain situations, I have to be very mindful of me not messing up your business on another project I'm working on. These are all the things that are going through my head, but these are resources and access. This stuff goes all over the state of Tennessee and beyond. People are asking my advice, working with businesses, chambers, government agencies, community leaders, to be able to bring these things together. It's amazing to see. Another picture I have here in the turquoise, or the ladies in the turquoise shirt, I'm with the National Housing Authority, and they are doing a housing transformation, turning their public housing site into a mixed income, mixed use housing site. And what I mean by that is, a lot of the individuals are either, they're in an underserved community. You may be a low income resident, and now you're actually, because of the growth in real estate and just the cost, just everything, development, now you're in a position where you're getting notified that, hey, this public housing site is being transformed into a mixed use, mixed income facility housing site, meaning that the majority of the residents here will be, or a good part of the residents here will be paying market value, and we'll have a number of residents that are also low income, so that way we can help build up. But at the same time, people are hearing that for the first time, may not like that. You got displacement. This is all because of county and city and regional growth, national growth, whatever you want to call it. All those things play a role. And I was contracted to come in. So at the Housing Authority, they need to get surveys from the residents. And so they hired these local residents that lived at the housing site to go out and door knock and talk to their neighbors about the transformation, what they like about it, did not like about it, what were their thoughts. Some people, will probably try to curse out the survey proctor. And so my job was to provide some of these survey proctors who may have not had any sales or soft skill training, train them on how to deliver a message, get information that you need, leave a good impression, combat challenges, keep yourself safe, and still be able to get the job done successfully. And that's what we were able to accomplish. I'm contracted to do a soft skill training regularly of how to speak, how to manage relationships. That's what we're talking about here in essence. The last picture here is an event marketing service that I provided for a client, in which they hosted a lunch and learn. I was able to bring in business, community, and government leaders to find out more information about these opportunities that this business was providing. And so we had, again, elected officials, teachers, housing site authorities, and correctional officers, business leaders, community leaders, all that in there, taking a tour of the facility, meeting the owner, meeting the staff, not only eating a good meal, but also networking amongst themselves. Some of them knew each other and strengthened relationships. Some met for the first time and built relationships. So that's just some of the many things that I'm a part of and been involved in. And so what we're going to do right now is take about 5 minutes to watch 2 videos. These videos are just to give you further insight and confirmation of my work and what people are saying about my skill sets, and why you're open to working with me and me working with you to help you grow your business. So let's watch this first video. I think it's 1 minute. The second video is about 3 minutes, but let's see what they say.
Nashville is booming. Real estate is being developed, and businesses are moving into the area, which means jobs are being created. Imagine an opportunity where you can find employment that fits your needs. Well, the ball is in your court. Jason, Patrick, hey, Donovan. There is nobody that knows the North Nashville community like Donovan, and we look forward to getting the news to you.
All right, let's get to the next video.
John McCullough. Huge, if you're looking in Nashville, Davidson County, anything dealing with career services, workforce development, and helping people find and keep a job in every aspect, this is your man.
We go back 7 years.
Yes, we do.
Easy 7
Yes, we
years.
do. Yes, we do.
And you've partnered with all of my programs ever since.
Anytime you ask, I pray I'm there. That's the bottom line.
And you put people to work.
Yes, sir.
You can't beat that. You've got terrific advice. And Donovan and I have always taken note because I'm a student of job seeking and what people are looking for and how to get the right people's attention.
If you don't mind me asking, real quick, John, for your expertise, when it comes to the current job market climate, for residents looking for jobs, what kind of advice do you have for them, real quick?
Is to be consistent and to come to events and meet people like yourself and our friends from FedEx and other people, and find out what they're looking for and how to get their attention, and just be consistent and meet these people. You'll get a job.
I'm going to take a step further. Last question. For employers in this job market with everything going on, any insider advice for them, especially when it comes to connecting with folks to find work?
Well, you know what? Employers, for the most part, they're all doing the consistency thing too. And, you know, with what we do, we're just a part of their program. And I really enjoy that aspect. They've got a lot of things going on. The thing that is the coolest part, though, Donovan, about the employer community is that they are so gracious and they want to be a part of all these great programs. And I've never seen anything quite like it ever.
That's awesome. We'll be sure to leave the links to make sure that those that live in the Martha O'Brien Center area is aware of the services you provide. We'll put the link down there and thank you for everything.
All right, Donovan, you're the best. It's always great to have you with. I know that it's going to be a super event when you're with us, and I mean that.
Wow, thank you so much.
You and your wonderful wife.
I wouldn't be here without John, so iron sharp as iron. There it is. Thank you.
I know you got it, Donovan. That's great.
Friend.
Wow, I'm always humbled by those videos and those testimonials. And I believe John, my friend John, said, we know it's going to be an awesome activity when Donovan shows up. I get that a lot. John also stated that we go back 7 years. Again, how do you really, when it comes to branding, how do you position yourself as that person? We're going to get into that shortly. As well as John also mentioned that we go back 7 years. We've partnered several times. Anytime he reaches out, I'm connecting him. He says, I give terrific, I'm using his words, terrific advising, and he's a note taker of my work. And so, again, it's about people, managing and building relationships with people. It's about who you know. If you noticed in the first video, my friend Jason, owner of Express, said there's no one like Donovan that knows this area. I mean, business owners and business developers need to know the area so they can maximize the prospecting opportunities. And when you master an area and you expand, that's when you're able to further position yourself. So we'll talk about that shortly. So I'm just very excited and humbled for you to be able to see, the work that I've put in to where I'm confident to stand in front of you and say, hey, look, I can work with you to help you increase your customer base. I can help you to increase your presence and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about the advising session and what that looks like. And so I have 3 opportunities for you to work with me within the advisory services of my firm. One is through just paying a hourly fee. I charge $160 an hour, $160 an hour, and you can just pay for how many hours you need, and I'm there. The majority of my time is virtual calls. If you need me for in-person representation to do something, it may be at least $160 to $200. We will see. But I'm here to help you as far as your virtual calls, and how it works is, again, it's $160 per hour. That's the first package. You can just pay that when you want. I also have a third package. We're going to talk about the second package shortly. But I also have a third package that's designed for enterprise businesses, and that retainer starts at $2,500 a month. And you're pretty much still getting the same type of service. You're going to connect with me to get insight, access, resources, opportunities for growth, helping you with conflicts or challenges, helping you with connections, all that good stuff, being an actual in-person representation for you if need be, and doing that work. But ultimately, you have the $160 an hour, you have the $2,500 per month starting off. But I wanted to find something for the hardworking business owner that was in between. And that's why I came up with the $250 membership packet, which is a monthly membership fee to provide you with insight, accesses, and resources designed to help you generate more leads, increase your brand awareness, and to help you increase your cross promotion opportunities. I brought that to your table so that you're able to at least have some form of production in a way where you feel like it's different than what you've already been doing, respectfully. So we're going to go ahead and talk about what a typical business or advising session looks like. And so again, when it comes to the actual private meetings, they're private calls, and it's 1 hour. And so your hour could be broken up into one 60-minute call. It can be broken into two 30-minute calls or four 15-minute calls. And again, if you're paying the 160 and you're part of the membership plan, you could do a 15-minute call once per week. And then by the end of the month, that's an hour. In the meantime, when it comes to the actual session, the biggest thing I'm doing is taking notes and asking questions. And the first question I'm going to ask you is, what are you looking to accomplish before we get wrapped up and finished today? Because I want to know what you're looking to achieve so I can help you reach that goal. My goal and my job is to always make sure that you're reaching your goals. I'm going to figure out how we can get there. I might know the answer. I might do some research and make some calls to find out. We're going to get it done at the end of the day. And also, we're going to be talking about during those meetings, upcoming activities that you probably need to be at, or something that came my way as far as an activity or networking opportunity that you need to be at, because we want to make sure that you're still increasing your customer base. You're also increasing your presence by being present. Now, when it comes to what we're talking about during the calls, it's basically wrapped around marketing and customer service. Marketing being business development, helping you increase your customer base; community engagement, helping you increase your community buy-in; branding, helping you create and share your story and message; media relations, it's a whole other conversation, but it's an art to make sure that you have the support of your local media, print, television, radio, online, social media, things of that nature. It's a whole other art to that, and nothing's always guaranteed with them. And government relations. Your work may spill into connecting with with elected officials to whatever capacity for whatever reason. That's what I'm here to do and talk about when it comes to marketing. Customer service, I'm talking about account management, making sure that experience and everything is going smooth so that you can retain. I provide retention conversations so you can retain your customer base, retain your staff as well. You can lose your staff based upon how you treat people. So if you're having a high turnover, we have to talk about that, see what that looks like. And then also conflict resolution. That's another conversation, and we can definitely jump into that in detail, however that sees fit to you. So pretty much those are my focus areas when we're talking, and you're going to get a copy of my notes that I take so you can get my perspective. You're also going to get a recording of the virtual or video call that we do, so that way you're not missing a beat. By the end of the call, I'm sure we'll both have some assignments to do, in which more than likely I'm going to either be doing either phone calls, emails, research, in-person representation for you, something I'm sure I'm going to be doing for you, in which you'll have some assignments, and then we're going to come back during the next call and we'll talk about the updates from those assignments, continue to take notes, and talk about what we have to do from that next step. And we're always going to follow our notes. And the beautiful thing is, in between our private session meetings, you'll have instant access to me through instant messaging. So you could text me through instant messaging, and we can communicate that way in between our private meetings to make sure that we're not missing a beat. And so, really, you're getting that full access at a great price at the end of the day. All right, so let's actually talk about the actual nuts and bolts, owning your territory. And we're talking about territory. We're talking about for sales, and we're talking about for branding. Both under marketing at the end of the day, just two different aspects. But either way, you have to own your territory. And when we say sales territory, we're talking about, one, increasing your customer base. And there's several ways to do that, so many different ways. But in this case, my approach is owning the area where your business is actually established, where it's located. And that area could be from just a zip code to a few miles, a city. That territory itself is up to you, but focusing on a more geographical location compared to possibly looking at other customer segments, like demographics or ethnicities or industries. A lot of times, especially if you're in a larger municipality, a lot of times, a lot of those industries are already there. And the reason why I want you to focus local is because if you have to connect with one of these decision makers as prospects for you, you're able to go down to the building. You're able to go in and meet with them in person if you need to help close the deal. This may not always be the best approach, but for the type of work and the businesses that I work with, you have to start, especially when you're a small business, look at it from a small business perspective. You really don't have a lot of money to do a lot of advertising like that, or, I mean, you may, but at the end of the day, you have to look at your available resources, starting with what's in your backyard. And what happens is as you grow your customer base, as you grow your community presence, you're getting positioned in the area of where you started, and you're also creating additional positioning by indirectly, as you expand, those people within your territory, they know neighbors. As you expand out into the next region, they know neighbors, they know each other. And so you have a group that you're already working with or has heard about your work, over time connecting with those that are in the area you're expanding to. And it just washes one another as far as increasing your certainty and legitimacy as a business for prospects to buy from you at the end of the day. So you want to definitely own your immediate area and expand out, because a lot of that work, a lot of that grassroots marketing is going to work for you or work in complement to your expansion. And of course, again, because you're working locally, you're going to save money because you don't want to have, I mean, you can, but you don't really want to have a situation where you have to meet with a prospect, you got to pay for travel, or you got to, I mean, if you have to and the deal's big enough, but one of my easier approaches is start right in your backyard. Now, when it comes to the branding territory, the bigger thing is, as you're now in your area, you got your geographical location down, you now want to figure out, okay, what makes me different? What sets me apart? And as you can see with one of my approaches, I added a title to my name, Lord. And that's not for people here in America, simply because I have a lot of people always giving me a hard time or asking questions about that. It's not part of the culture, and it may not be as strong of a culture in the UK, but it is part of their culture. And so as I'm looking to be a visionary and looking toward the future, I'm already setting myself up now to be different. That's the point of what I'm saying. What are you doing to be different? And it could just be sometimes people are just, their presence is enough to make someone stand out and be different. But if you don't know that, that's the stuff we're going to start thinking about. What makes you different? And so that way you stand out, but also when you own your territory or you start to get buy-in from your territory, at the end of the day, you're also establishing your position, your influence in that particular area. So with you establishing your position and your influence and being different, it's going to make your branding and sales your branding, it's going to help strengthen your branding, make your branding more known to others, as well as, again, bring more legitimacy and certainty for you to help close sales opportunities and growth opportunities. And at the end of the day, all this together is going to create loyalty at the end of the day. And people are loyal to you because you're supposed to be loyal to them. And if you are, and again, you may not have that perspective as a business owner. You're looking at your business as, I have to sell my product or service. But being a business development advisor, I'm looking at what does it take to make your business successful? What does it take for you to take what you're doing, add some innovation on it if there needs to be, to ensure that you're able to reach your sales quota, to ensure you're able to reach your expansion and growth quota, your community service, corporate social responsibility, whatever that looks like. That's my job. So as a developer, to always keep in mind, how are you strengthening your loyalty? How are you strengthening your influence? How are you increasing buy-in? How are you increasing your presence? How are you maximizing your sales pipeline? How are you maximizing your client base? How are you retaining your client base? How are your clients? What is their experience? Things of that nature. Developing your business, growing your business. Very exciting. So own your territory. And if you want to go into a spiritual sense, because we do jump into that when it comes to business, own your territory by first owning yourself. You're your best investment. You have to invest in yourself as a business owner, as you know, as a professional, in order to get better. What got you here won't get you there. And I learned that from my friend, mentor, and client, Jason Patrick. What got you, and that was from material that he was researching and studying as a more successful business owner than I am financially. He's just been great, a great mentor. And so at the end of the day, what got you here won't get you there. So you're constantly investing in yourself. You're constantly growing. You're constantly studying to make sure that you are moving with the flow. These are things I'm going to help you with as your advisor. So at the end of the day, well, let's look at it like this. We talked about, from my perspective, what it took for me to launch my business. And I shared some of those things with you, but I'll leave you with a few more tips when it comes to growing your business to save you time. One is, especially when it comes to your branding. And branding really starts with an idea. That's all it is, your idea, your color scheme, your messaging, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, it's going to take you to commit to action and get out there. And with you engaging, your brand, even though you have an idea of it, your brand is going to form itself. And your brand forms based upon the environment that you're in and that you're dealing with, the people that you're working with, and dealing with, as well as your presentation. And I'll give you an example. So, for example, if you're an HVAC, you have an HVAC company that you're growing and launching, I would assume that you are in an environment where there's HVAC needs or HVAC training, HVAC service related, anything, as well as far as your appearance, you're looking like someone that knows what they're doing and looks like they know what they're doing when it comes to being an HVAC technician. Some people start their business and have enough capital to pay people to get the job done. When I started my business, I was self-employed. I had to do the work myself. And not only do you have to do the marketing, the operations, the legal structure, the human resource, the sales, the prospecting, but you also have to do the fulfillment and the customer service. So it took me a while for me to get enough clients to be able to eventually say, you know what, I'm overwhelmed with this work. I have to start bringing people on. And that's usually how most business owners start. And so, with that being said, when it comes to just being consistent and looking at your appearance, you want to look like you are, like you know what you're doing. So if you're an HVAC technician, again, you want to look like you are dressing like an HVAC technician, even though you're the business owner. Everyone's business is different, and the environment that you're in, people are going to look at your appearance, your environment, as well, and the people you're talking with. At the end of the day, so, and all those things are going to, over time, create a picture of your corporate brand. And if you want to be engaged in the community through community service, at the minimum, it's going to help you develop your community brand, which are really one and the same and to some degree. But you have a community that may have a different perspective than a professional, even though they're both human beings and outside the clock. They may, and I say professional, I mean a decision maker that you're looking to reach out to. Like you're reaching out to this decision maker for a specific reason, and you're talking about a specific service or product. Or those in the community, they could be focusing on social services, social well-being, health and wellness. Not necessarily the money, the capital, maybe not necessarily. And so what you have to do is, of course, have your business brand, but incorporate your business brand into your community brand of saying, hey, we're successful, but we're more successful because we give back. That is the corporate social responsibility piece that's going to take what you do over the top. But ultimately, you want to reach out to your customer base and build your customer base now. But indirectly, that community engagement can help you find new prospects as well. It's a lot of moving parts. And as you're moving and shaking and you're building your brand, you want to get pictures and videos because those say 1,000 words. And as people see that more and more, those pictures and the videos and you out, it's going to build your brand for you. But it's because you took action. You got out there and got started. And a friend of mine once told me, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. And that's my job, to help push you. I'm going to walk with you in this, but to push you to get to the next point. Another tip you want to think about when it comes to growing your business, just keep in mind, whoever's purchasing from you, that's who your buyer persona, your customer persona is, your buyer persona. At the end of the day, that's who your target market is at the minimum, because they're already buying from you. So how do you scale that? How do you expand that quickly? And what exactly is this type of customer? How much revenue are they bringing in? Where are they located? What's their industry? What is their budget? Those are some of the things that will determine if you can get a business to work with you or not. A need, how bad someone needs what you're looking for. Even though you might know who you might be reaching out to people that are reaching out to those that are purchasing from you already. So you might have a company in this particular industry and they're purchasing from you, but they may not buy your product or service right now because there's no need. The more desperate the need, respectfully, the more people are willing to consider what you're talking about because they know they need to make a change. There's a lot of moving parts, but ultimately, whoever is buying from you, focus on them to buy some more and look at exactly, who they are, what they do, what they're bringing, what makes them your ideal prospect. So that way you can start reaching out to others that are similar or as closely like them as possible. Last thing you want to maybe think about, there's so many other things, but I just wanted to give you some tips, some valuable insight as far as how I can assist you, is always make sure that your sales pipeline is full. When it comes to sales or your sales pipeline, which is your prospects, your lead. So you have leads that supposedly these leads are coming into you through inbound marketing. The older way of doing business was outbound marketing, when you're reaching out, knocking on doors, phone calls, and those are still very effective. Don't get me wrong. And as a firm and as an advisor, I still recommend those things today. But if you're a business owner, especially starting off and you're strapped for cash, you got to look at your time and your resources. And so what I mean by that is, looking at things like things that are non-telephone, email, social media, text messages, video marketing. These are things that are going to attract people to you that may want to learn more about your service. Those are or product. Those are called leads. And once you get those leads, you're creating a system to reach out to them to see if they're open to connecting with you. And so you're nurturing that relationship. And if they're still engaging with you, then they're now called a prospect. There's someone that identified your product or service and they're still willing to talk with you. So now they're a prospect in this case. And so you always want to make sure you have prospects in your sales pipeline. Your sales pipeline is where a sale begins, which is basically creating the awareness to the point where someone's willing to meet with you, to the point of actually negotiating and having the conversation, closing the sale, receiving payment, and talking about what are the next steps at the minimum. What does that look like? So your prospects you should always be prospecting, looking for new people to reach out to. Your sales pipeline is full. You're utilizing your sales pipeline with your customer relationship management system, your CRM system. This is your central database that has all of your prospects. And if you're reaching out to these prospects through phone call, email, social media, in-person representation, phone call, email. There's a few others. There's only a couple you can do. But anyway, if you're reaching out to these folks at this time and there's something that pops up or a result happens, you get a chance to put those notes in your customer relationship management system. So if you call somebody and they say, hey, I'm interested, let's just say, keep it simple, I'm interested. You put in your notes, I called such and such on this day, they're interested. And maybe, you gotta have the follow-up. So want me to call back here or there or whatever. But ultimately, if it's all in a centralized system, you or your team can always go in there and look at your prospects, see where you are, and can help push the process further instead of saying, what did we talk about again last time? And the more prospects you have, the harder it's going to get to manage and organize. That's why that customer relationship management system is so important. These are simple facts that I know that you may or may not know, but that's why I want to help you and walk alongside you and help do the work with you as far as growing your brand, sharing your story, creating your story, increasing your customer base. Again, I want to help you generate more leads, turn them into prospects, help you get more recognition, make you the go-to known person. I see this person everywhere. There's an art to that, and what I'm providing is a way for you to do it digitally or in person through my skill sets. So you definitely, let's connect. Let's work together monthly to get you to where you need to go. And what that looks like specifically as far as next steps is you want to become a member. By becoming a member, you're able to get marketing and customer service solutions. Marketing to include branding solutions. You also get the private session with me for an hour each month. That can be broken into 15-minute calls, 30-minute calls, or a 60-minute call. So you get access to me through conversation. You're going to get my notes that I take from our conversation, the actual recording from our conversation for you to take back with you. You're also going to get instant messaging so we can connect throughout the month. You can just text me. I'll give you back questions. I may have assignments to do that I got to get back with you with. You may have assignments that you got to get back with me with. So we got to make sure we're able to stay in contact. You're going to have access to my calendar, networking opportunities galore. I may or may not be there, but you may need to be there. And that's going to be your next sell. You take a couple pictures. They see you in the building. That's going on your social media. That's going on your promotional content. They see that you're moving and shaking. You're increasing your legitimacy. You're also going to have access to my business resources and my experts. Business resources, like I said earlier, I was doing video marketing 7 years ago, and here we are today where you definitely need it in order to really get leads. You don't need it, but you definitely want to use it. Again, there's a 77% higher click rate when people watch a video and they want to get more information compared to just a typed document that they're reading or, something printed. So that's a fun fact. And, in these days, when we're talking about access to the resources and tools that I use and the experts that I use, these days, if you're not utilizing artificial intelligence, AI in your work and increasing your business, you're already behind. You probably won't come back. It's imperative. It's essential. And I want to make sure that you're using the latest AI softwares and tools to make sure that you are, growing your business. Now, there may be additional costs for you to get these things, or you might say, I only have a budget to do X, Y, Z, but you're going to have a plan of action and a direction to help you propel your business forward. And one of the greatest points that I like to bring up and that you take advantage of is you get actual prospecting outreach in the plan for that 250. And what I mean by that is up to 10 contacts, 10 prospects, in which I will reach out to them to see if they're open to connecting with you and talking to you in more detail, scheduling an appointment for you. They may say, I'm not interested. But the thing is, that's a win because at least for now that they're not interested and you can move on to the next prospect. Keep them in your CRM system. You're still sending them content and information to keep you in their minds. And eventually one day, based upon need and timeline, they're going to reach out to you and you're going to be ready to go. So these are the systems. So when we meet again, the next time we meet, I should have an update for you on your prospecting and who's interested in talking with you. And hopefully within a few months or less, you're getting sales just from the basic membership plan. And with that basic membership plan, you're able to make more money and make more investment. And that's pretty much what I'm here to do as far as your advisory service, partner and friend. So if you have any questions, there's my email address, ldh.advising@gmail.com. For any of your questions pertaining to my advisory services, I definitely want to get back with you to make sure that this is a good fit for you. But I'm excited just to introduce you to my world at the end of the day. I'm just very excited. So if you have any questions, let me know. And before we get out of here, I'm going to leave you with a quote that I have been walking with for the last several years from Winston Churchill. Part of what I do as far as growing my business and investing in myself is I'm looking at people in positions that I want to be in one day. What was their story? What did they do? What made them different? The things that we're talking about. And Winston Churchill is someone that I follow simply because of the impact that he made. And that's what I'm looking to do. That's what I'm hoping you're looking to do. And that impact that he made was he was a statesperson, author, entrepreneur, and he was the prime minister for 2 different terms for England. And during his first term as prime minister, from my understanding, he was a likable guy. He did a great job operating things, managing relationships. For the most part, everything went smooth. And his influence as an author and a writer, a communicator, as well as a entrepreneur really set him and placed him in a position that he was very influential in his country. And it got to a point where when World War II started, the people and the decision makers, if you will, and government really wanted him back. During World War II, wasn't looking good for England respectfully at that time. And they needed a morale boost. They needed someone sharp, leading the charge. And so he came back when he really didn't have to serve as the prime minister and to really hold up the economy and the brand of England. And they were able to get through World War II. And a lot of people say, without him at that helm, England probably would be in bad shape, today. I don't want to speak out of ignorance as far as the details, but these are the things that I research and learn. And what Winston Churchill said was, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. And I thought that's so powerful, as I'm a seeker of truth at the end of the day. The foundation, the principles, a principle, the definition of principle is the foundation of truth. So people say it's not about that, it's the principle. And being an advisor, it's all about principles. It's all about integrity, because people are trusting you. In order for you to maintain as an advisor, you have to always work on truth, always work on principle, always work with integrity. If you're looking for a long-term sustainable opportunity and not being seen as a crook and underhand, and I don't want that brand for myself. I want someone to really be excited to get with me and not think that they're working with me because they need to, but I'm the sleazy person, you know? Truth is incontrovertible. Nothing to talk about. Malice may attack it. You can get upset as much as you want. You can hate on the fact at the end of the day, but the truth is still there. You can not know the truth was there and be ignorant to the fact. It doesn't matter. The truth is there, because in the end, there it is. The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it. Ignorance may deride it. But in the end, there it is. And the truth of the matter is, I'm waiting for you to go ahead and make your payment so we can go ahead and schedule your first call. So what happens is, once you make your payment, you're going to go ahead and click on the link to schedule your first call. You have three options. You have an option, a 15-minute call option. You have a 30-minute call option. You have a 60-minute call option. If you use one of the 15-minute call options, you know that you can no longer use the 60-minute because 15 minutes were already used. But you still have access to a 30-minute option and the 15-minute option, if that makes sense. If you use the 15-minute option twice, you can still continue to use the 15-minute option 2 more times for a total of 60 minutes, or you can use the 15-minute option as far as a phone call twice and use one 30-minute option as well. So it's pretty much on your time. And what's going to happen is, when you put the when you book your private session, I'll be notified. You'll get a notification, usually through text and email, that I did receive your booking, and we're going to be pretty much set to go. And until we actually meet, you and I will both get reminder notifications until we actually meet. And then from there, again, we're going to have a conversation. I'm taking notes. I'll get the notes back to you. I'm sure I'll have my assignments. You'll have your assignments for us to do until our next meeting. You'll also get a recording of the call so that you can just have all the facts there. And then we're connecting through instant messaging until our next meeting. And worst case, we're connecting at networking events. And not only, and I would love to, we go to the same networking event. I love to show you around and introduce you to people. I mean, if I can help it, I got you. So make sure you click the button. Let's get started. And again, thank you so much for your consideration.